Welcome. Here we are again in my lovely garden, talking about some of the things that have happened to me over time. So again, it is story time. Story time. So I have a story. When I was in high school, it was 11th and 12th grade. We lived up in the mountains of Colorado. My dad was a miner. We'd hear the big bangs go off. We knew he was coming home. But actually, we lived way up in the mountains, and we moved a little further down after that. He still was a miner, but we lived down in Idaho Springs, Colorado. That's the place we lived. My brother called it the half house. Kind of funny because the house was built into the side of a mountain. The top floor was kind of on top, and then it kind of carved in to the side of a mountain, and underneath was like a basement area that was half into the mountain, half out of the mountain. And underneath that basement area was basically a very large wall made of like real rocks that was all like plastered together or something. And my dad saw that. He said, the rent was very affordable. Again, very affordable rent. That sometimes is a red flag, but anyways, he liked it. Upstairs had the one bedroom, we had the living room, a partial dining room, and then a kitchen. Downstairs was just a big open space. There was this creepy door. As you'd walk into the place, underneath the door would really scrape on the ground, and it was kind of creaky. It was just spooky just walking in. Got a really weird feeling. Looked over to the right, and here's this old like smoky door. It says private in red, like can't go in there, private. So we all wondered what this place was. Later on down the road, we probably thought it was some kind of morgue or a mortician might have lived or something. I don't know. It was very creepy. Anyways, my dad saw this downstairs and said, we're going to build the 2 rooms down here for you kids. I'm like, what? So anyways, that's what he did. He put a wall up. He divided 2 areas, made a little doorway and a door. Divide my brother's room. His room actually had these little windows, so you could see the staircases, and it was cement, and you could actually see the people walking down the staircase. Well, usually it was my parents walking up and down. There was nobody around us. There was a couple houses here and there. We had an old mine down the road from us, an old dirt road, just like not even a few blocks, couple blocks. And that mine was really old too. It was built back in the 1800s, caved in. They found some old skeletons under there of people that had actually caved in years ago on some huge rain they had, and it all washed out right there on the place. And what was funny about that is they got all the skeletons and remains of these miners that were trapped years ago finally, but they cleaned it all up, pushed it back together, and they turned it back into the like tourist little attraction that it was. And one of the tourists had found a gold nugget in the side of the mountain just hanging out. So that was kind of interesting. And I used to walk down there all the time. Anyways, to go back to the ghost. This place seemed very creepy. My dad built a wall, and the doorway dividing my brother's room and my room. And then another wall that kind of blocked off that other area that said private. So it was kind of spooky. You could still walk in there and see the private door, and it's just like an area that nobody went to. I'm not sure why. Maybe my dad knew, just didn't want to tell us. I don't know, but sleeping down there was kind of hard. I set up my little record player on one side. My bed was against the rock wall. We had the 2 walls on each side, of course, for privacy. And I had the main door that would come in. My brother would come in through my bedroom to get to his room, and same to get out. But anyways, to make a long story short, he didn't really spend a lot of time down there, and I think I know why. He really didn't know a lot. Well, he said he didn't know what was going on, but I think he kind of was freaked out about it. But anyways, I would sit in my room, and I had my record player going, and there were black widows here and there I had to deal with. I was even lying in bed. One was over my face, coming right down. It was like pretty spooky. So anyways, I'm lying in bed and listening to my records, and finally got everything starting to feel comfortable, and turned my record player off. And this is an old record player, mind you, big needle, does all kinds of stuff. You could have it automatically, the record thing go over and hit the record, and push a bunch of little 45s on top. I don't know if anybody's grown up in that era, but 33s is what we played, and that's what I had, big record album. I had the big albums. Anyways, I would listen to my Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, those kind of things, and I'd turn it off, and it started doing its own thing. After a while, it started turning on and playing songs. A needle would go across and hit a song right at the beginning that I didn't program or do with it. I don't know how it was doing that. So I'd come home from school, sit down on my bed, be taking off my shoes or something to change into my flip-flops, and it would turn on and start playing. And I'd be all, thank you, thank you. So something was going on kind of strange already there. I had felt something there, but I got used to it, I got used to it. Nobody else really saw this. My family or my friends, and I didn't say much. Because again, back then, this is in the 80s. This was back in 1981. I graduated around 82. Starting to give away my age. But anyways, one night I was sleeping in bed, and I was lying down flat on I had woke up. My eyes just woke up, and I saw a swirl of smoke, like a spiral of this smoke over my head, just spinning very slowly and methodically, almost like a CGI nowadays, but back then we didn't know what that was. Spinning over my head. I just kind of sat there, looked at it, and then I put my head under the covers, and then eventually I got some nerve to pull it down, and it was gone. Well, the next morning my mother said, I felt like I should have came down and checked on you. I felt really strange about something. Well, I told her the situation, and she was like, I knew it. And then years go by, years and years and years and years. So now I'm living in Northern California. I'm like way graduated, out of the service. Not very many people knew me here. I came back in, it was 1983 in Northern California. Or not 83, 87. I came back to Northern California. Anyways, to make a long story short, I met a group of psychics. I've always been interested in psychic people, and so I went to one of their things, and nobody knew anything about me. I went to their session. We all introduced ourselves a little bit, shook hands, and we did what they call, I guess, made a circle, and we went into like a meditation. And we had someone guide us through, saying, we can send light to people that are in need, that are in trouble, and it was really fun to really work together. And you could bring crystals. They like to have your shoes off. They grounded us. They walked us through all this whole thing. And then we were supposed to come out of this once they said, okay, we'll break the circle now and talk amongst us. Well, we didn't really break it, but we stayed in a circle, but we talked about our experiences and what we felt. So we went around the circle, and there was a lady sitting next to me, I'll never forget, very skinny, looked like she was kind of like Ethiopian or something, very skinny lady, very upright, very frizzy hair, and a big like gray streak going through it. It was very interesting. She looked at me and said, I have to tell you something because something wants me to give you confirmation. And I go, what is that? And she said, when you were in your teenage years, you woke up with a spiral of smoke over your head, and it came to me and told me to confirm this with you, that it was real. I was like, wow. Now that blew me away. So until this day, I still feel there's something going on. She didn't know anything about me, neither did nobody in that circle. So how she knew that, I had no idea. And then the next lady looked at me and she said, I had a vision of a Mexican lady making beans and laughing. And it was, that's you. And I went, well, that's kind of funny too. But I don't know what that meant. But anyways, the one with the spiral of smoke, she hit it right on the head. I was like, this is something interesting. Confirmation. I still don't know exactly what it means, but I know for sure that I know something exists beyond our understanding. So that's my story today. And I hope you all have a wonderful. If you do like the stories, give me a thumbs up. A thumbs up is great. Um, you know, anything like that, paranormal. I'll be telling more and more stories. You know, as many as I can, and then we'll start going to places on some of my other videos. If you haven't seen them yet, there may be some end tabs here you can click on that actually gives you some of my experiences, and there's been some things going on in the area. But I'd like to go back where I can go back and show you some of the places that I've been that I feel are haunted, so, or you know, are known as being haunted. And paranormal is my thing. So anyways, you guys have a good one, and we'll see you in the next one.